कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन जमुना तीर बनचारी जमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर बनचारी यमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी भगवान की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण मोह गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। गुरु द्वारका धाम की जय। स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरी टू द असम्बली, ऑल ग्लोरी टू द असम्बली। थैंक यू वेरी मच। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
अनुभूतं क्रमशो दिना यदु कुलक्षयं इत्युक्तो धर्मराजेन सर्वं तत् समवर्णयत् यथानुभूतं क्रमशो दिना यदु कुलक्षयं इत्युक्तो धर्मराजेन सर्वं tatsamavarnaya
Sarvam Tatsamavarnaya
Yathanubhutam kramasho
Yathanubhutam Kramasho
Vinayadukulakshayam
Vinaya Dukalakshayam
Iti yukto dharmarajena
Iti Yukto Dharmarajena
Sarvam tatsamavarnaya
Sarvam Tatsamavarnaya
Yathanubhutam kramasho
Yathanubhutam Kramasho
Vinayadukulakshayam
Vinaya Dukalakshayam.
Translation. Thus being questioned by Maharaj Yudhisthira, Mahatma Vidura gradually described everything that he personally experienced except the news of the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty.
Ityukta dharmarajena sarvam tat samavarna yathanubhutam kramasa bina jadukula khayam. Jadukula khayam. The Yadu dynasty, when Krishna was present, the family members were about 10 million. This is Krishna. Everything is wonderful. He married 16,108 wives. And each wife had 10 children. And each child begot another 10 children. In this way, the Jadukul was a very big family. So, they were destroyed. There are two comments on this point. Why Jadukul was destroyed by Krishna's plan. The one comment is that if they would continue to live, then the same misconception that a Brahmin is born in the Brahmin family, they would continue to speak that we are also gods because we are born of God's family, Krishna's family. Just like in India, there is a class, they call themselves a Nityananda Vangsha, descendants of Lord Nityananda. But that does not actually happen. And another comment is that all these members of Jadukul, they appeared in the Jadukul just to enhance the opulence of Krishna, but they came from different heavenly planets to help Krishna in his incarnation. Just like a big man, wherever he goes, there are many others also go there to help him. When a king goes somewhere, the king does not go alone. He goes with his secretaries, with his military commanders and so many other companions. So these Jadukulas were like that. They came to help Krishna's Leela pastime within this material world. So some of them were born as sons of Krishna, some of them as grandsons, as great-grandsons. And Krishna did not want to leave them behind. Krishna was planning to go back to his Vaikuntha, Vrindavan planet. So he did not like that they should remain. They should also go back. Now, to go back means they must meet death after, because otherwise it is unnatural. So, and who can kill them? Nobody can kill them. There is also another point. The family of Krishna, there is no power in the whole world that anybody could kill them. So the Krishna planned that they should be killed amongst themselves by fighting. So as another lesson is that if we fight amongst ourselves, even we belong to the family of Krishna, we are winning. This is the instance of Jodhpur. Although they belong to Krishna's family directly, still because they fought amongst themselves, they were all vanquished. So this was not a very palatable incident. So Vidura, when he was asked by Maharaj Yudhishthira about the family members of Jodhpur, he did not describe it because they are very thickly related as family members. So it would be a great shock to the Pandava that Jodhpur, descendants of the Jodhpur have been annihilated in such an unpalatable way. So he did not describe. Jathanubhutam kramasa ityukta dharmarajena sarvang tat samavarna. He described everything. Bina Jodhukulat Swayam. Bina means without. Without the incident how the Jodhpur was destroyed by fighting amongst themselves. Nanna priyam dhudvishahang nidang swayam upasthitam navedayat sakaruna dukkitan dashtamakama. He did not describe because he did not like also to see the Pandavas would be sorry. He went back to his home after so many years and they were receiving them, and at that time Vidura did not like to see them aggrieved on account of this incident. Kaschit kalam athavasit satkita devavat sukham bhratur jeshthasya sreyaskit sarvesam sukhamavahan. Vidura left his home for good. It is not that he has again come back to live with his family members. No. His only purpose was that his elder brother Dhritarashtra was rotting there. He lost everything. He lost his kingdom, lost his sons, grandsons and everything. Still he could not give up the so-called material happiness. He was, of course, these Pandavas, they were treating Maharaj Dhritarashtra and his wife Gandhari very godlessly as the head of the family, but he was not ashamed that he intrigued so much difficulties and plots against the Pandavas. And there was big fight, Kurukshetra, in which he lost everything. Still he was living under their care for some material comfort. This was very shameful affair. So Vidura was very much attached to Maharaj Dhritarashtra. Therefore, Bhratur Jeshthasya Sreyaskit. Bhratu means brother and Jeshtha means elder. So actually Vidur went there for the benefit of Dhritarashtra. Therefore, Kaschit Kalam Atha Avasit, he decided to live at home along with the family member for some time. Avasit, Kita Satkita Devavat Sukham. He was living just like in the opulence of demigods, because they are all nephews. Pandavas were so well behaved, cultured, devotees, and Vidur was devotee. So he was treated just like Devavat, godly. That is required. Just like whenever I go anywhere, they treat me very nicely. I live very comfortably. Similarly, Vidura was treated by the Pandavas to live very comfortably. Devavat, just like godly standard. But he did not live there for getting some material comfort. His aim was that this poor man, Dhritarashtra, my elder brother, he has not yet been lessened there what is the value of this material comforts. He was living shamelessly, so he wanted to instruct him, and thus he lived there for some time. Kanchit kalam athavassit satkita devavas sukham bhratu jeshthasya sreyaskit sarvesham sukhamav. So although he specially lived in the palace for the benefit of his elder brother, still, so long he lived, it was a very pleasing time for all of them. Because he was living not as a dull or dumb man, he was speaking about Krishna, therefore everyone was feeling very happy. Saintly person like Vidura must be treated as well as a denizen from heaven, as well as a denizen from heaven. Yes. If any saintly person comes at home, formerly this was the system. In our childhood we have seen many saintly persons used to come, and my father used to receive them very nicely. Some of them, still the system is, if you go to an Indian village and I mean to say those who are sannyasis, saintly persons, they are received very well. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was touring in South India, so many Brahmins were coming to invite him. That is the system. He hasn't got to bother for his food or shelter any place. That is the system. So Vidura, he was a saintly person. He was received by the Pandavas and treated just like denizens. In those days, denizens of heavenly planets used to visit homes like that of Maharaj Yudhishthira, and sometimes person like Arjuna and others used to visit our planets. We get information. Arjuna also went to the heavenly planets, and person from heaven, when there was big yajnas, sacrifice, they used to come and visit Indra, Chandra. And sometimes person like Narada is a spaceman who can travel unrestrictedly, not only within the material universes, but also in the spiritual universes. Whenever he wanted, he could go. He can go, he is still living, not that. Even Narada used to visit the palace of Maharaj Yudhishthira, and what to speak of other celestial demigods. It is only the spiritual culture of the people concerned that makes interplanetary travel possible. Even in the present body, Maharaj Yudhishthira therefore received Vidura in the manner of a reception offered to the demigods. This example means demigods were visiting. Mahatma Vidura had already adopted the renounced order of life, and therefore he did not return to his paternal palace to enjoy some material comfort. He accepted out of his own mercy that was offered to him by the Maharaj Yudhishthira, but the purpose of living in the palace was to deliver his too much materially attached elder brother Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra lost all his state and descendants in the fight with Maharaj Yudhishthira, and still, due to his sense of helplessness, he did not feel ashamed to accept the charity and hospitality of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Suppose you create some enemy, always part with your enemy. So if we accept his hospitality and live there thinking that I am living very comfortably, it is not very good sense. On the part of Maharaj Yudhishthira, it was quite in order to maintain his uncle in a befitting manner, but acceptance of such magnanimous hospitality by Dhritarashtra was not at all desirable. He accepted it because he thought that there was no other alternative. Vidura particularly came to enlighten Dhritarashtra and to give him a lift to the higher status of spiritual cognition. It is the duty of the enlightened souls to deliver the fallen ones, and Vidura came to that reason. But talks of spiritual enlightenment are so repressing that while instructing Dhritarashtra, Vidura attracted the attention of all the members of the family, and all of them took pleasure in hearing him patiently. This is the way of spiritual realization. The message should be heard attentively, and if spoken by realized soul, it will act on the dormant heart of the conditioned soul, and by continuously hearing, one can attain the perfect stage of self-realization. Therefore, Sravanam is very essential. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasim. So, in all our centers, this process should be followed. We have got now so many books. Simply, if we read books, our Yogeshwar Prabhu is very enthusiastic to read books. So everyone should read books and others should hear. That is very essential, Savanam. The more you hear, we have got so many books, and whatever is already published, just like we are describing one verse daily, so at least there are so many verses already in stock, you can go on speaking for 50 years. These books are already published. You can go on. There will be no one stock. So this practice should be adopted. Don't waste time. As much as possible, try to hear about this transcendental subject matter in Bhagavatam, Jad Vaishnavarang Priya. It is stated that the Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very dear to the Vaishnavas, to the devotees. In Vrindavan you will find they are always reading Srimad Bhagavatam. That is their life and soul. So now we have got already 6 volumes, and further 7, 8 volumes are coming. So you will have enough stock. So you should read Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu. That is the main business. That is pure devotional service. And because we cannot devote 24 hours in hearing and chanting, therefore we have extended our activities, program activities in so many ways. Otherwise, Srimad Bhagavatam is so nice. If you practice anywhere, any condition, simply by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, you will be happy. So adopt this practice and make your spiritual life perfect more and more. Thank you very much. Satam vidyan sruto nara asivasitum kata hari kathodarka satam su sadasi dhrava. Now, what meaning?
Etat, this, Shushusatam, of those eager to hear, Vidvan, O learned, Sutta Goswami, Naha, unto us, Arhasi, may you do it,
to explain it.
Just to explain it.
Kataha,
Kataha,
topics.
topics.
Harikata, Udarikaha,
Harikata Udarika,
result in the topics of the Lord.
result in the topics of the Lord.
Satam,
Satam,
of the devotees.
of the devotees.
Su, maybe. Sadasi,
Sadasi,
in the assembly of.
in the assembly of.
Dhruvam,
Dhruvam,
certainly.
certainly.
O learned Sutta Goswami, please continue to explain such topics to us because we are all eager to hear. Besides that, the topics which result in the discussion of the Lord Hari should certainly be discussed in the assembly of devotees.
To stop all this. Hear attentively. Don't divert your attention in that. Then,
Purport. As we have already quoted above from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Rupa Goswami, even mundane things, if dovetailed in the service of the Lord Sri Krishna, are accepted as transcendental. For example, the epics or the histories of Ramayana and Mahabharata, which are specifically recommended for the less intelligent classes of men, women, Shudras, and unworthy sons of the higher castes, are also accepted as Vedic literature, because they are compiled in connection with the activities of the Lord. Mahabharata is accepted as the fifth division of the Vedas, after its first four divisions, namely Sama, Yajus, Rik, and Atharva. The less intelligent class of men do not accept Mahabharata as part of the Vedas, but great sages and authorities accept it as the fifth division of the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita is also part of the Mahabharata, and it is full of the Lord's instruction for the less intelligent class of men. Some less intelligent men say that Bhagavad Gita is not meant for the householders, but such foolish men forget that Bhagavad Gita was explained to a grihastha, like Arjuna, and spoken by the Lord in his role as a grihastha, family man. So Bhagavad Gita, although containing the high philosophy of the Vedic wisdom, is for the beginners in the transcendental science, and Srimad Bhagavatam is for the graduates and postgraduates in the transcendental science. Therefore, literatures like Mahabharata, the Puranas, and similar other literature which are full of the pastimes of the Lord are all transcendental literatures, and they should be discussed with full confidence in the society of great devotees. The difficulty is that such literatures, when discussed by professional men, appear to be mundane literature, like histories or epics, because there are so many historical facts and figures. It is said here, therefore, that such literature should be discussed in the assembly of the devotees. Unless they are discussed by devotees, such literatures cannot be relished by the higher class of men. So the conclusion is that the Lord is not impersonal in the ultimate issue. He is the Supreme Person, and He has His different activities. He is the leader of all living entities, and He descends at His will and by His personal energy to reclaim the fallen souls, playing exactly like the social, political, or religious leaders. Because such roles ultimately culminate in the discussion of topics of the Lord, all such preliminary topics are also transcendental. That is the way of spiritualizing the civic activities of human society. Men have inclinations for studying history and many other mundane literatures, stories, fiction, dramas, magazines, newspapers, etc. So let them be dovetailed with the transcendental service of the Lord, and all of them will turn to the topics relished by all devotees. The propaganda that the Lord is impersonal, that He has no activity, and that He is a dumb stone without any name and form, has encouraged people to become godless, faithless demons. And the more they deviate from the transcendental activities of the Lord, the more they become accustomed to mundane activities that only clear their path to hell instead of returning them home back to God. Srimad Bhagavatam begins from the history of the Pandavas, with necessary politics and social activities. And yet Srimad Bhagavatam is said to be the Paramahamsa Samhita, or the Vedic literature meant for the topmost transcendentalists. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Param Dhyana, highest transcendental knowledge is described. Pure devotees of the Lord are all Paramahamsas. They are like the swans, who know the art of sucking milk, out of a mixture of milk and water. And as footnote, the demons, the more they deviate, the propaganda of the Lord is impersonal, that he has no activity, and he is a dumb stone without any form. They encourage people to become godless, faithless demons. And the more they deviate from the transcendental activities of the Lord, the more they become accustomed to mundane activities that only clear their path to hell, instead of returning them home back to Godhead. The footnote, even 50 years ago, the social structure of all Indians was so arranged that they would not read any literature which was not connected with the activities of the Lord. They would not play any drama which was not connected with the Lord. They would not organize a fair or ceremony which was not connected with the Lord. Nor would they visit a place which was not holy and sanctified by the pastimes of the Lord. Therefore, even the common man in the village would talk about Ramayana and Mahabharata, Gita and Bhagavatam, even from his very childhood. But by the influence of the age of Kali, they have been dragged to the civilization of the dogs and hogs, laboring for bread, without any sense of transcendental knowledge.
Yes, in our childhood we saw every village, every town, the transcendental knowledge. Any common man could speak about Rama and Mahabharata, Lord Krishna, and the system was still there, but practically closed now. That in the evening, in the village, everyone should assemble in a place to hear messages from Mahabharata, Ramayana especially, because these two books can be understood by common man. Not Vedanta philosophy was discussed. So my maternal uncle was in this suburb of Calcutta, so about 10 miles from our house. So sometimes when he used to go there, so in the evening, after taking their meals, by 8 o'clock, they would go to a place, assemble and hear about Rama and Mahabharata, Bhagavad, and they should discuss while coming home, and they would go to bed thinking that memory, so they will sleep also Ramayana and Mahabharata, and dream also Ramayana and Mahabharata. You see, this was the system. Sada tadbhava bhavita. If you think of Krishna 24 hours, then you become fully Krishna conscious, and your life is successful. Don't allow anything. This requires little practice. Abhyasa yoga yuktena, chidasananugamina. I should not allow my mind to go to think of any other subject than Krishna. Now we have got so many books, so whenever you find time, you must find time, there is so much time, so read all these books or chant. But when you are hungry, take prasadam. When you are sleepy, take a snack, not very much, just to refresh. And go on, either chanting the beads or reading the books or talking about Krishna. In this way, always remain in Krishna consciousness. Smartavya sadatu Vishnu. Krishna consciousness means to remember Vishnu always, 24 hours. Samana. Type for Krishna, write for Krishna, go outside for Krishna, Sankirtan party, sell book for Krishna, bring money for Krishna, spend for Krishna, Krishna, that's all. Everything Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Satatam kirtantam mam jatantascha dhirabrata. In the Bhagavad Gita you find Tushant Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. We require some satisfaction and some enjoyment, because that is our nature. Anandamayo Vyasa. Spirit soul. God is also blissful, and we part and parcel of God. We are also blissful. We want simply ananda, pleasure. That is our nature. But that ananda, pleasure, you cannot enjoy independently. That is not possible. You must enjoy with Krishna. That is called Raslila. Krishna and the gopis, they assemble together. Similarly, we are part and parcel, just like part and parcel of big machine. They are assembled, then it works. If the part and parcel are scattered, then it has no meaning. It is simply scrap of iron, that's all. But when they are assembled together, that is meaning. Similarly, we are all part and parcel of Krishna, so we must assemble together. Central Krishna. Central Krishna. So this Krishna consciousness movement is just like in this house we are living, and the next house they are also living. But what is the difference? The difference is here Krishna is central, that's all. Therefore it is temple, and the next door a house. That is the difference between house, ordinary house, and temple. And there is no difference. It is also made of bricks and stones and wood, that is also made of bricks and stones. They also live, they also cook, they also eat. Everything is the same, practical. But the difference is there is no Krishna. Here is Krishna. That is the difference. That is Krishna consciousness. So when I walk on the street and go anywhere, I simply think how these nice bungalows, house, but still they are not satisfied. It is for sale. You see, why? There is no Krishna. Apranasya hi deha samannalam lokaranjanam. Just like a body, beautiful body, lying down on the street, dead. Nobody cares. Because the life is not there. The spirit soul is not there. Nobody cares. Similarly, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Japastapakriya. Big nation. You Americans, you are big nation. But Bhagavad Bhakti, there is no Krishna consciousness. Jati, big nation. Jati means big nation. Bhagavad Bhakti hinasya jati, japa, their activities, tapo, tapasya, they are trying to invent so many nice things scientifically, mechanically, or invented machine, everything. Jati, japas, tapa, kriya, activities, very methodical. On the road, there is light arrangement, everything is all right. But if it is less Krishna consciousness, then it is, what is that? Apranasya deha samannanam lokaranjanam. Just like a dead body, if you decorate. A body, dead body, and you apply pomade and nice dress and scent, then what is the meaning? Lokaranjana. Lokaranjana means you may please some of the people, how you are decorating a dead body. But it has no meaning. It is useless, waste of time. Similarly, very nice arrangement, big nation, politics, everything. minus Krishna consciousness is like that. Apranasya hi dehasya mandanam lokananyanam. Therefore, your young men, young girls, they become frustrated. In spite of all this arrangement, nice arrangement, there is no comparison of your country's arrangement. I am traveling all over the world, such nice roads, such everything nice. But why they are becoming frustrated and confused? Due to this apranasya, there is no life. The life is Krishna consciousness. So if you actually feel for your country, for your community, for your people, just spread this Krishna consciousness. They are dying. You spread this Krishna consciousness, they will come again to life and everything will be actually beautiful. That is my request. I came to your country with this mission that the American people, they are feeling frustration. If they take to Krishna consciousness, they will be happy and others will follow their example. So now, some of you, my advanced students, you have understood the philosophy, some of you have taken sannyas. So, go town to town, village to village, preach this Krishna consciousness, bring them to life. So this frustration will be stopped. The leaders of the society, the politicians, they should take care where they are going. So, it is said that Katha Hari Kathodharka Satang Su Sadasi Dhruvam. Therefore, if we discuss this Hari Katha, we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Hari Katha. So, Katha Hari Katha Dharka Satang Su Sadasi Dhruvam. If it is discussed among devotees, then one can understand. This book, Srimad Bhagavatam, has value amongst the devotees. And to others, they may purchase, see, what is this Sanskrit by something written, scrap of paper. Just like this newspaper, for us, is scrap of paper, we don't care for it. But they keep it very carefully. On their chest, oh, it is so nice. Newspaper in the Western country is so popular. One gentleman told me a story that one Christian priest went to preach Christian religion in Sheffield. Sheffield, where it is, in England. So the workers, laborers, he was preaching amongst them that Lord Jesus Christ will save you if you don't take shelter of Lord Jesus Christ. Then you'll go to hell. So first of all, who is Jesus Christ? What is his number? That means they thought Jesus Christ must be one of the workers, and every worker has a number. So what is his number? So, no, Jesus Christ is Son of God, so he has no number, he is not worker. Then what is hell? They describe hell is very damp, very dark, and so on and so on. So they were silent. Because they are working in the mines. It is always dark and damp. So what is the difference between hell and this, what is called mine? They were silent. But when the priest said, there is no newspaper, oh, horrible. There is no newspaper. See? Therefore, in your country, so many big, I must say, bunch of newspapers are distributed. So, If for Los Angeles city, which is nothing but a point in this world, there are so many cities, but there are so many newspapers, not only one edition, 2, 3 editions. And if they can give so many news from this one point, then how much news we have got? And that is Srimad Bhagavatam, from spiritual world. But there is no customer, that is the difference. Otherwise, so valuable instruction, so much information, all fact, Dhrumam. Dhrumam means fact, not fictitious. So there would have been many, many customers, and because there is no Krishna consciousness, there is no culture, these literatures, they are not appreciated. So, what is next? Another verse.
Vai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Bharata Bala Krida Kridan Krishna Yadade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Bala Kridan Krishna Kridam Yadade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Bala Kridan Krishna Kridam Yadade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Bala Kridan Krishna Kridam Yadade
Next. Yes.
Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Bala Kridan Krishna Kridam Yadade
Very good. Then next.
Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Kridan Krishna Kridam Yadade
Next. Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Bala Kridan Krishna Kridam Yadade
Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Bala Kridan Krishna Kridam Yadade
Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Bala Kridan Krishna Kridam Yadade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveo Maharataha
Pandaveo Maharatha
Bala Kridan Nakai Kridan
Bala Kridan Nakai Kridan
Krishna Kridan Jadade
Krishna Kridan Jadade.
Very good. Nice. Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaviya Maharatha Balakrida Nakai Kridan Krishna Kridang Jagad. Parikshit Maharaj, these are the qualifications. Savai Bhagavata Raja, not ordinary Raja. Raja means king. Bhagavata. Bhagavata means great devotee. First class devotee, Bhagavata. Pandaviya, how he became Bhagavata? Because son, grandson, or in the dynasty of the Pandavas, Parikshit Maharaj was the grandson of Arjuna. So, Arjuna was Krishna's friend, he was Bhagavata. So, unfortunately, Arjuna's son died in the battle, Kurukshetra. He was also Bhagavat. He was Subhadra's son. Arjuna, Krishna's sister, the Subhadra, who is sitting here with Jagannath. So, Subhadra's son was Abhimanyu, but he died in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, 16 years old. But fortunately, his wife Uttara was pregnant, so Parikshit Maharaj was within the womb of Uttara. So he was saved. All others died. So Pandavaya, coming in the dynasty of the Pandavas, they were Bhagavat. Maharatha. At the same time, he could fight thousands of warriors. Maharatha. A Kshatri who alone can fight with another 1,000 Kshatris, he is called Maharatha. So, it does not mean to become Bhagavata, means to become devotee. One has to stop all other activities. No. Here it is called Maharatha. Maharatha means a great commander. The great commander can also become Bhagavata. A great merchant can become also Bhagavata. And a great Brahmin, learned scholar, he can also become Bhagavata. So there is no restriction. Not that simply one who is Vedantist, who is very learned scholar, he can become Bhagavata. No. The social system was so nice that everyone could become Bhagavata. A Brahmin could become Bhagavata, a Kshatri could become Bhagavata, a Vaishya could become Bhagavata, or a Shudra could also become a Bhagavata. Sriya Shudra Tatha Vaishya, Krishna says personally. Never mind whether he is woman or a Shudra or a Vaishya, te bijanti parangati. All of them can go back to home, back to garden. How? Mangi partha vipasitya jepishu papajuna. Simply he has to take shelter of me seriously, that's all. Never mind what he is. Te bijanti parangati. So, this Parikshit Maharaj, in his childhood, he was Balakrinakai Kridan. He was playing with Radha Krishna. That is the advantage of getting birth in a Vaishnava family. It's like some of our children. They are playing with Jagannath. They are playing with Radha Krishna. In India, that Saraswati, Samisundar's daughter, she offers arati and brings the arati for me. I take. Yes. So, learning, just this child, mother is offering obeisance, and the child is doing. We used to do that. we got this opportunity of good father and mother. We are trained up. Similarly, you can also train up your children. Then your becoming father and mother is perfect. Otherwise, the dogs and cats and hawks, they also beget children. They are more expert. A hawk can beget children twice in a year, and each time more than 1 dozen. So you cannot compete with them. It is not possible. Sometimes you beget 2 children twice. But that is not competition. The competition is that you make your children God conscious. Give them. They are playing with Krishna. That New Vrindavan, DDD, he was given by his father toys. I was present, and he did not touch the toys. He said, it is Maya. Yes. It is Maya. So, everything should be taught from childhood. That is Prahlad Maharaj's instruction. Kaumaro acharit pragyo dharmana bhagavatanya. So, from the very beginning, there is no teaching. There is no God consciousness. Then what will be the result? You may send in a very decorated university, where the result will be hippies. That's all. You cannot expect anything more. You cannot expect. So teach them from the very beginning how to become Krishna conscious. Then you will find nice population, beautiful population, peaceful atmosphere, social condition, very nice, systematic, everyone is happy, and in happiness, they are all chanting Krishna conscious. Krishna, Hare Krishna, every house there is dingling of bells, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Make Vaikuntha. That is my request. Teach from the very beginning of life. Just like Balakriya, Balakriya Koi Kriyan. By playing, he is becoming Krishna conscious. So in our Dallas, you go, make all these, save all these children, those who have come to your shelter. It is the duty of the father and mother. It is the duty of guardian to save the dependents from the impending danger of death, repeated birth and death. So, if you cannot save these children, then it is useless. Save them. So we have got our center in Dallas. All children should go, and the advanced girls, they should go there and take care. Just produce a new generation, just like Parikshit Maharaj. Produce a new generation. Balakrishna, from the very childhood. Thinking of Krishna, playing of Krishna, eating of Krishna, 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 then he cannot become otherwise. Therefore Prahlad Maharaj, he was a child, 5 years old child. He was teaching his class fellows. So they refused. They Prahlad, why you are bothering with this? When he shall get old, he shall think of this Krishna. No. He insisted, no. Kaumaro acharit pragya dharman bhagavatam. Durlabanga manasanga janma. You cannot get again such opportunity. So immediately begin. Immediately try to become Krishna conscious. All right, Kirtan.